The next feature that we are going to implement is number of views. At the moment, we are done with the liking, disliking, following, and unfollowing. What has left is the number of views. So let's see the logic behind this. Let's check the model for the post. And on the post, we have what is called number of views. In this case, viewers. And we are going to use the IDs of the users. This means that anytime a user views a post, and that is the post details, we are going to take the ID of the login user and then push it into the fields of viewers on the post. This means that we are going to work inside the post details. So let's get into the post controller, and here is the controller to view a single post. So we are going to modify this one to include the number of viewers. First, we will need the ID of the user. Remember, for the viewing of the post, we can have two types of users: login user and a user who has not logged in. In case a user is logged in, we are going to take the ID of the user. But in case the user has not logged in, then we are not going to push the user into the fields of viewers of the post. So here, let's check for the login user. Const user ID is equal to rec.user. In case we have that, then we're gonna take the rec.user, otherwise we will say null. And before we send the result, we are going to check if the post found. So here as post found, and that is in case we don't have any post. So here we are going to check if we have the login user as user ID. Then in here, we are going to check if the user has already viewed this post. So here as check if user has viewed this post. And it's going to be as if on the post, that is the post found, we have what is called viewers. Then on that, we're going to use includes. Then pass in the login user ID. So here, we are going to convert. And that is in case we don't have the user ID in the viewers. Then the code inside is going to run. So here as post, that is the post found dot viewers dot push. Then push the user ID. And I think we have a field called views count. So let's check on the model, and we have the views count. So we can even use this one as well. So here we're going to increase the views count. So back to the controller, and that is here, we will say that post found dot views count, and it's equal to post found dot views count. Then we're gonna add +1, and lastly we need to await and save the post found, and then on that we're gonna use save, and that is it. But for this logic, unless we create a middleware, because this controller is not behind authentication. In this case, if you check the post router, which is for the single post, we don't have its authenticated middleware. And for viewing post details, you can log in or not. So here, we are going to create a middleware, and this middleware is going to be optional authentication. Either you have logged in or not, you can still view the post. But in case you have logged in and trying to view the post, then we are going to increase the post count. So let's go ahead and then create that middleware. So back to the inside the middlewares, we are going to create one called optional authentication. And here is going to be as const optional authentication. We have access to the rec, response, and next. And we will need passport. Passport.authenticate. And then pass in JWT, comma, and then we will say that we are not using session, but instead JWT. Then third argument is going to be a callback function, error, user, and info. For this one, we have already talked about it. So let's continue. So let's check in case we have error or we don't have the user. Then we are going to say that rec.user is equal to null. Then here we are going to return next, and then down here, and that is in case we have the login user, we're going to assign to the rec.user is equal to user. Awesome. And let's call next here by returning, and then call next as that. And for the authentication, we're going to call it as ify and provide rec, response, and next. And that is it. So lastly, module.export is equal to optional authentication. So here on the post router, we're going to pass it to the fetch single post as that. Now let's go ahead and try out. Let's fetch all posts. And if you check on the views count, we have it as 0, and viewers, we have empty. Well, the issue is from the authentication. Here, this code runs. So here, let's check if you don't have the user. Alright, so now let's try to view this post. And let's check. And now we have the views count as 1, and the viewers, we have it as that. Awesome. So now we can go ahead and then display it on the client side. So here, let's go ahead and do that inside the component post and post details. Let's locate the view count icon, which is this one. So here, let's uncomment it. And here is post found dot views count. In case you don't have it, then you're going to use 0. So now let's see. For some reasons, I got an error. So let me check. Is data dot post found? Yeah, that one. So here as that, and we'll be good to go. Let's see. And now we have one.